Good day and good evening, everybody. Appreciate you coming to today's back office and getting started training. My name is Adam Russell. I'm your host for today. And one of the things that I found when you get started in any project is to make sure that you are able to create a system that is easy to share with others and get people started. Now, we're going to go through a lot of information in a very short period of time that's going to hopefully make a lot of sense. And the first thing that you need to know is, well, what's the easiest way to get somebody started? Well, we're going to have tutorial videos that are going to be coming out step 1, step 2, and step 3. So step 1 will be to find and download, whether you're on mobile or a desktop, a wallet. Now, some of you might be using MetaMask. Some of you already have a MetaMask. That's fantastic. Understand that there's both extensions that are good for both the desktop, right? And there's also extensions that are good for mobile devices, okay? And depending on if you are going to be in an Apple or Android, you could do that from the Play Store. If you're on a Chrome browser or a Brave browser, etc., it'll automatically choose which browser that is in. Now, I'm going to make sure everybody gets muted, so just give me 1 second so I can mute all. 1 second here. Everyone will be muted momentarily. Let me just stop the share for just 1 second. It makes me do that. Mute all. Okay. There we go. Everybody can hear me. We're perfect. We're back on track again. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. 1 second. There we go. So we're talking about getting started. So step 1 is getting a wallet. Some of you are very advanced. I've been in the space since 2016, and my first MetaMask, I had no idea what this was. It's connected to my browser. I didn't know what it was. I was scared. It was gonna have to put money in it. I didn't know what any of this was. There was no real tutorials. There was no education. There was no information about it. It literally was just try to figure it out as you go. And it was this little fox that was looking at me and moving his head around. I didn't know what it was, right? This fox has been there ever since the day one. Okay. And, realize that when it comes to MetaMask, see this where I just went to the very bottom of the page, it automatically picked up that it says get MetaMask. It picked up that I'm on a browser. But if you're on a phone or something of that nature, you also are going to just go to the Apple Play Store, or you're going to go to um, the Android Play Store, or the Apple Store. And if you're on a browser, these are the browsers that are supported. Now, I highly advise you to use Chrome. Okay. You can also use Edge. I don't know if you can use Brave. Firefox has had some issues I've noticed lately, and I've not really played with Opera. But these are extensions. And we're going to just load one just so you can kind of see what it's like to load an extension on MetaMask. Now, also, we have Trust Wallet. You can download Trust Wallet. You can download it for iOS. You can download it for Android. Now, understand that this is a mobile and also a desktop browser. So you can download it here, and it'll download to your desktop as an extension inside of your browser. Okay. Now, but we're going to talk about MetaMask because MetaMask is probably the most used platform there is when it comes to getting started on any type of onboarding somebody into the space. As I mentioned on the opportunity calls, there's been over 1 million people plus that have been onboarded into this space with platforms very similar to this. You see this little fox, how he looks at you like this? He's been there since 2016, this little fox. And I've become much more friendly with the fox. I've actually become more of an expert in understanding MetaMask, how it works, etc. But if you click Get MetaMask, it says Add to Chrome. When you click Add to Chrome, it says Add Extension. You want to make sure you're on the approved, see there's 14 million users. You're on the approved MetaMask site when it comes to that. Okay, very important. Now, when you first get started, you either are going to be importing a wallet or you're going to use a wallet that you are creating. In this case, we're going to create a new wallet. We're doing this from brand new. Okay, and it says to choose an option to continue. Continue with Google, Apple, user recovery phase. These different ways that you can start. So in other words, it'll back up your recovery phrase to your Google account or your Apple account, or you can use a recovery phrase. Now, if you click on either one of these, it's keeping it in the cloud. Now, it's not as secure as it would be if you use your own security phrase. You can do it, and it allows you to not have to worry in case you change devices, etc. It's protecting it for you inside of their clouds. But again, not your keys, not your crypto, right? So private key and your phrases are what makes up a wallet. Now, the training I'm doing for you tonight is not just training for XSYNERGY. This is training for people that are onboarding into crypto, because really there isn't a lot of problems with onboarding into the platform. The problem is getting your hands on some cryptos, specifically USDT Polygon. And how do you do it? You have to do it through different ways to buy it. But the first thing you have to do is you have to have a wallet that's going to receive and connect to the XSYNERGY platform. So let's go with use secret phrase. Okay, we're going to create a password today, because you're all going to see it. We're going to make this, you want to make this a very easy to remember, but very difficult password. Okay. In this particular case, we're going to make this, and you're going to see it because I'm going to write it. See this here? You can see how I can type, but if I click here, I can see what I wrote. Okay. So we're going to make this real easy to remember. Now, don't ever do anything that people could easily figure out, but we're doing this today just for training purposes. Okay. We're going to make this XSYNERGY 1234 underscore money. Now, what would you do? You would want to save that somewhere, because unless you are able to have your private phrase and reload back in, if you forget that password is good to MetaMask only on this browser. It will not work on your mobile device. It will not work on another browser. So we're literally putting a password in place for this browser. Okay. We're doing a brand new MetaMask. All right. It says right here, it says, if I forget my MetaMask password, it can't be reset. You understand? So we're going to create the password. Now it's going to say secure your wallet. We can do this later. We're going to do it now. We're going to do it very quickly now, but we're going to do this. And again, this is going to be what I call a throwaway wallet. This isn't going to be any valuable crypto in here. Never, ever share this information with anybody ever, ever, ever. Okay. Because this is your private keys. This is how you get started in crypto. This is your bank account. Okay. Now, if you click remind me later, that means that technically you don't have a backup if you do that. So when you hit get started, it says here, save your recovery phrase. Now it's very similar on a phone, just to clarify. Very similar. But we tap here and it's going to show this is the actual, now this private key, this is a private phrase, not the private key. There's a private phrase that creates the private key. Now I want to understand what that means. So 12-word phrase that is derived to create a private key, which is a very long cryptographic string, which we're going to show you as well to understand how this works. Now, understand this right here that is being recorded, anybody that gets access to this could potentially recreate this wallet and have all the monies that are inside of it. Okay. Now, what we're going to do right now, just for the demonstration purposes only, is we're going to capture the screen. What I encourage you to do, I encourage you to write it down on a piece of paper and put it somewhere safe. Because this information, for all intents and purposes, can be compromised if you either lose it or have a problem. But in this case, we are just going to copy it, not copy, but we're going to copy it and do a screen copy of it. Okay. Now we have a screen copy right there. Let me do the screen copy. I have it separate so we can reference back to it. Now, I'm going to go back to that. And we're going to, one sec. There we go. Hit continue. Now, it's going to ask me, where are all of these? So you want to have it somewhere so you can rewrite it back in. You can confirm it back in. So hopefully you wrote it down on a piece of paper. In this case, I copied it. Now, we're going to go grab it. How do we grab it? Very easy. I have it already in a picture that I can reference back to see. So, vibrant India. Okay. We're going to go back to it again. All right. So it's asking for, no, notice what it's doing. It's saying, confirm your secret recovery phrase. So it's asking, what is in number 9? Okay. So it's giving you 3 choices. Which one is in number 9? So in this case, it happens to be Ranch. Ranch is in number 9. So we're going to put in Ranch. Boom. Then it's asking for 11 and 12. And 11 and 12 are drama and mask. Okay. In this particular case. So we're going to just put those in real quick. Drama, mask. Continue. Boom. Perfect. Congratulations. We have now created, you have agreed that they're going to learn. Now, you know what? We're not even going to let them learn. We're going to say no thanks to that. Don't worry about default setting. Just say done. Now, you can download the app if you want to. And this way you can turn on Face ID so you can always have access to it from your phone. But in this case, we're just going to hit continue. Installation complete. Congratulations. You now have an account. Okay. It kind of tells you a little bit of walkthrough what it is. There is the account. Now, on top of that, there's also, as you can see, there's this little puzzle up here. Now, watch this. You see this little puzzle? This little puzzle is where your MetaMask is. Now, if you notice here, it didn't show. Some people are like, oh, well, why doesn't it show up here? Why don't I have a MetaMask? Because you haven't pinned it yet. You haven't pinned it. And so if you click here, it says there's a little pin. Now you can pin it up here. And again, you can use this for any, this is generic, right? Once you pin it, boom, there he is. Look at that. There's your little guy. There's your little icon. Now, if you're on a phone, you don't have to worry about that, right? And on a phone, you automatically use your facial ID and you're able to get in. You should probably use biometrics, but you can also use a PIN code. You can use whatever usually you get into your phone to have access to it. Now, if you click here, you can see there is your MetaMask. Now, in the middle of your MetaMask, you see there's what they call the network. This here is where you choose your networks. Notice, very important, that Polygon is actually in there and you can add it, okay? But when you go to, let's do this from scratch. So we're going to go to XSYNERGY, okay? We're going to do a couple of things that are pretty cool tonight. First things first, we're going to go to the XSYNERGY and we're actually going to connect this wallet. We're going to live do something. We're going to do a bunch of things live to kind of see how this all works. Now, when you go to connect your wallet, first of all, how did we get to this page, right? Let's back up. Somebody must have given you a link. Okay, so let's see what a link looks like. And we're going to show you where you get a link in a second. But first, I'm going to get a link just so you can see how this process works. Okay, now we are, for all intents and purposes, going to go through getting started. Okay, so obviously we got ourselves a wallet. Congratulations, we got through step 1, but we really haven't set up the wallet yet. That's part of the process, and that's what we're doing right now. We're going through the process. So first thing you want to do, you want to paste in the link that they gave you. Okay, see that link? And if I hit go, it automatically brings you to this page. Notice that referral link is 781. You go up on the top, you can see it here, 781. Now, you're going to connect your wallet, but when you connect your wallet, understand you have not connected the Polygon network yet. So before you connect your wallet, if you click Add Polygon, it's going to automatically say, hey, do you want to approve that? And you're going to say yes. Polygon network added successfully. So now they enabled Polygon on the wallet. See, look, Poly. Now, inside of MetaMask or Trust Wallet, see, Polygon is enabled. We could have enabled it ourselves because it was in the list, but we did it through the system just so you can see. Now, we're ready to connect our wallet. And connect the wallet. You choose what wallet. We have Trust Wallet or do you have MetaMask, etc. In this case, we're going to use MetaMask. Notice how it popped up. It doesn't always pop up. Sometimes there may be a little blue number over top of the little MetaMask icon, and this doesn't pop up. You need to click that in order for it to pop up. In this case, it did. So we're going to hit connect. And now it's going to say, now here's the thing. We haven't funded this account yet. There's no money in this account. Okay. I want you to really see this. Look. Zero money. There's no poll, meaning there's no Matic, there's no gas fee, and there's no USDT Polygon. So we asked ourselves a question. How do we get some? That's step number 2. We have to fund our account. We need to have money in the account. So what you want to do is you want to load in enough to cover whatever slots you are going to purchase. Now, everyone starts the same with the $25 slot, but you can always upgrade, and it's up to you on how you want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop my share for 1 second. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to go into another screen, and we're going to talk about how we do all this, which is pretty fascinating. All right, let me just save this. Always want to save your keys, phrase, Synergy 5. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. Now we're going to share how do we put money in the account, and that's important. Everybody has to understand that we're doing this live, so you understand that everybody starts the same way. Some people are very advanced at crypto, and some people are just not advanced at crypto, and that's okay. You want to start from where you're at in regards to your education, not only your finances, but in your education. And we're going to have tutorials that go over this, but I think it's super important that we do it tonight. I feel confident that those of you that are on the line tonight are going to get a lot of value out of what we're sharing tonight, because this is gold. What I'm going over with you tonight is gold. I'm not joking. Now, we're going to, at this point, we're going to go to another Chrome browser. Okay. Tell me when you guys can see my screen. There it is. And these are your most common exchanges to go buy some Polygon and some USDT Polygon. You can go to Coinbase. You can go to Binance. You can go to Kraken. You can go to OKX. Of course, you could go to many different exchanges around the world. These happen to be some of the biggest exchanges where you can actually use your bank account, debit cards, credit cards, etc., to purchase crypto. However, some of you already have crypto, and you wonder, well, what do I do if I already have some crypto, but I don't have any USDT Polygon? If I don't have any USDT Polygon, how am I going to get started? Well, let me show you how that works. So this is simpleswap.io. Now, it's very important to note that when you're going to go and look up any of the swaps, any of the exchanges, always go to their official X account or their Twitter account to make sure you're on the right one. Because just because you do a quick Google search, they put scams out there. They're called phishing attempts, where they just change and they use a different icon on the O or an A, and before you know it, you're on a fake site, and they can take your money. It's happened to me before, even with a cybersecurity background. Now, simpleswap.io. There's also another platform called changenow.io, and then there's another one called changely.com. Depending on where you're calling in from, where you are in the world, determines what should be easiest. I happen to be using SimpleSwap for the last 4 years. So tonight, we're going to go over SimpleSwap together so you can get a clear understanding of how SimpleSwap works. Now, if you used a major exchange such as a Binance or one of these, you simply are going to send the money to the wallet address that we just created. We're going to go over that together. But first, we need to follow through what it takes to fund an account. And that is, in this case, we're going to say, let's say you already have some crypto. Let's say you already have some, I don't know, USDT Tron as an example. So you have some Tron and you want to change. So as you can see here on the right side, and again, this will all be in the tutorial, you will write in USDT. And it'll have all the different types. See, remember I said there's different networks for USDT. There's a lot of them. But in this case, you happen to have the Tron version because you're in other platforms. You happen to have some USD Tron, but you need it in Polygon. So this platform makes it real easy. You would choose the Tron version. Then you go to the second spot right here on the right, click the down arrow. In this case, you write USDT again, but now we're looking for Polygon or Matic. USDT Matic Polygon. You click it. Okay, so if you've noticed what this is doing, it's swapping USDT to USDT, but from one network to the other, and we're going to change the amount. Let's say we're going to do $30, just to keep it simple, okay? Now, what you're going to do is it's going to create an exchange. You click exchange, Great. Now it's going to ask you, where am I going to send this money to? Well, we're going to send it to the address that we literally just created on MetaMask. We just created an address. We're going to go get it. So I'm going to go get that address real quick while you stay here. And we're going to put that address into SimpleSwap. Now, the top of your MetaMask is where that address lies, by the way. But for the moment, we're going to just go right back in here and we're going to paste that in there. Now, we're going to hit Create Exchange. Okay. When you hit Create Exchange, you hit the Create Exchange button. Boom. What does that do? That now shows that it's awaiting a deposit of $30 in Tron to this address. Okay. Now, this is the address only without the amount. You can scan this and it'll go into your whatever wallet that you're going from, or you're going to copy it and send it from an exchange. And it'll send, make sure you send from the Tron network. In this case, if that's what you have is Tron, you could be Ethereum, could be anything. But again, it depends on what you currently have. You're swapping and you have $30. You're sending exactly $30. When you send it, it will say, it'll remove from pending deposit. It'll say confirming. It'll change colors, exchanging, and then it'll say sending. And the money will end up in your wallet where you're funding. The second thing you want to do is after you do that successfully, if you're going to use a swap, I want to clarify. Let's say now you need to get, you still haven't put any gas fees in your wallet. And again, you only have to do this the first time just to make sure it's loaded. But what you want to do in this case, let's say we're going to stick with USDT Tron, because that's what you happen to have. You could have anything. You could have any type. There's tons and tons of crypto. You have to search if there's some other crypto that you have that you might want to, maybe Solana, etc. You could do that as well, right? If you have Solana and you want to use your Solana, you could do that too. And you could swap it for USDT Polygon. Now, in this case, you also need a little bit of Matic or a little Pol, which is a Polygon. So what you would write in is one of two things. You either write in Matic, when you can spell. Yeah. But in this case, we're going to put in Polygon. I can't even see. I don't have my glasses on. Here we go. Matic, Polygon. See? Polygon. Now, we don't need $30 worth. Let's just say we need $5 just to keep it simple. Now, see what I said? Sometimes there's a minimum amount. This happens sometimes on this platform. If you're going to swap, there's going to be sometimes a minimum. So in this case, you had to do more. It's good to have a little extra fee when you need it. And so it's going to give you some extra Matic. And then, of course, again, you're going to paste in the address, which is the wallet that we just created. And then you hit Create Exchange, and it's going to do the same thing. And now you're going to send, in this case, $11 of Tron to that address. Okay. This is going to help you fund your wallet. But in our particular case, what we're going to do tonight is we're actually going to just send the money into that brand new wallet so we can do this live. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause the screen for 1 second. We are going to open up the demo account. Okay. We're going to resume. Okay. You guys can see my screen. Notice I have $30 in USDT Polygon in here. Let's just say you just had that sent in from your exchange or from a swap. And I have 32 cents in Pol. You don't really need a lot of Pol. You can have more or less. Doesn't matter. What matters is that it only is pennies for the fees. But depending on how many slots you're going to do, you might want to get a little bit more Pol, a couple dollars worth, etc. But in this particular case, we are going to send this. So imagine if we were sending from your exchange, or you're going to send it from your wallet. Okay. You would just hit send. Now, do you really want to just hit send? No, we want to first say, what are we sending? In this case, we're going to send the USDT. We're going to hit send. We're going to paste the address. This is the new address. Okay. This is the new address of what we just created that we're sending it to. In this case, we're sending it $30, and we're going to hit, it's coming from my demo account here. We hit continue. And we hit confirm. And it is now sending. It's pending and sending. And it is sent. Okay. Now we are going to send a little bit of Pol. Not a lot. We're going to send like 15 cents. just so we have some pull. Okay, so we're going to go over here and we're not going to do the max. See, so the max is 1.43. That's the max. We're going to do half of that. So we're going to do 0.75. So we're going to just put in 0.75. I hope you all are following. This is very important. You understand how this works. You have to have gas when it comes to sending money. You have to have some gas. It's very important that you have a little gas. We're going to send 17 cents. Not a lot, but we're going to send something. We're going to send that and hit confirm. Pending. Fantastic. It was sent. Now we're going to go back to that wallet. We're going to pause. We're going to change the share. And we're going to share the other wallet. And here we go. And we're going to resume. Make sure we resume to the right wallet. We'll do a stop share. And then we're going to share to the new wallet. All right, here we go. I always got to make sure I'm sharing the right wallet. Okay, we're back in. Now, if we did everything right, there should be some money that came from either your swap or it came from your wallet or your exchange. Should be sitting in this wallet. And look at that. Amazing. $29.99. It cost us a penny. And the full 17 cents were sent. We loaded up the wallet. It's ready to go. It is. Now, look up here. It's very important you all know this. See this little spot right here in the top right? This here shows that it is actually connected. Okay? If you want to go one step further, you actually can manage the permissions on what is connected right here. It actually shows you. These are the accounts that are actually connected. You can see. In this case, we're connecting this account. We don't need the Solana account. And it shows what networks are connected. In this case, Polygon. Just so you can see. Now, we're not going to disconnect this. We're just connected. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is because we're connected to the wallet and we have enough money, we are actually going to get an account. So we're going to hit sign agreement. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to refresh the screen. Why? Because it's going to be insufficient because it already pulled the data when it first connected. All right. So we're going to refresh the screen. Now, I want to show you something on how to refresh the screen. A lot of people think when you clear your cache, you've got to go to settings and you've got to do that. That is not 100% true. The easiest way to refresh on a browser is right here. And then click Cookies and Site Data. Manage on-site data. And now here is where you actually delete and hit Done. And then reload. That only does just this page. See how it says Connect Wallet? If you notice, if we go here, we have the manage permissions. In this case, we're going to disconnect. So we are completely as if we're brand new. Okay. Now we're brand new. We are not connected to the wallet. We have the right referral link. We're about to connect for the first time. We're going to hit connect. Connecting wallet, hit MetaMask. Now it's going to authenticate. It's going to confirm there's actually $30 in there. The poll is in there. Now it should work when we hit sign agreement, and it does. And that's the problem a lot of you are having. It's the order of when you do things. This is the biggest issue with most smart contracts is if you do something before the next thing happens, it already checked it. And if it doesn't have that available, it thinks it's not available. The best thing to do is always, before you do the final thing, is to clear the cache, to clear everything out, to disconnect from the wallet, and then do everything fresh, just like I showed you. Now, you hit agree, right? Right? You reviewed those. You hit sign agreement, which is great. Now you're going to confirm. You scroll down, hit confirm. Okay, phenomenal. Then you're going to hit, and again, it blacks it out because of the fact that it is on the browser. So in actuality, it is popping up. It's saying confirm your spending cap. It's saying confirm your transaction. All of that is happening through the MetaMask. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a live share of my full screen so you can actually see what's actually happening. Because when you just share only the browser view, you don't actually get a chance to see what I just shared with you. So now you can see it. Now you see that? So now we're going to confirm the spending cap limit. We hit confirm. USDT approval submitted, waiting for confirmation. Please wait. Okay, then it's asking you to verify that you're actually doing the transaction. Again, you're going to confirm it. Registration submitted, waiting for confirmation. And congratulations, transaction was successful. You hit continue, and you are now automatically brought in your back office. It's a brand new back office, so congratulations, we're in a brand new back office. Now, that is going through the entire process. We transferred the poll, we transferred the USDT, we got you started, we cleared out the cash, we've showed you the process, and now you're in your back office. Now, this is a brand new person's back office, hasn't referred anybody. What I would like to do is I want to bring us to a back office that has referred one person so you can see that. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop share. And again, you can see your registration link is right here. Referral link is right here. You hit copy. That's how you share it with other people. But we're going to go back in the same thing, just on a different browser. Because we have this down to somewhat of a science. At least we hope to. All right. And we're going to share this one right here. There we go. Let's make sure I'm still sharing. I don't want to make sure I didn't lose you guys. Hold on. Let's make sure I'm still sharing my screen. Share. All right, one sec. There we go. Make sure it's showing. Oh, righty then. It should say 781. If we're doing the right one, we should say 781 is the share. So this is the account, which was demo number 4, or demo number 3 or 4, one of the two. This is the account that actually just signed that person up. Okay. Now, what are we doing here? Well, when you're in your back office, there's a couple of things that you want to understand about your back office. Number one, and most importantly, is your referral link. Very important you know what your referral link is. And if you look, you can copy it right here. You hit copy. And then if we open up a new link and we put paste, it's now going to go and show. Now, in this case, we're connected to a wallet, so we're going to disconnect the wallet. But the point is that it's going to bring it up just like this. See how it has that? It has the 781 loaded and the 781. Just like when we set up the account, it's going to do that. Okay. Now, also note that whatever total earnings are in this wallet are going to show on the right, top right. See that? $15. We earned $7.50 from XSYNERGY 1 when we did the $25 one, and $7.50 from XSYNERGY 2 when we did the $25 one. Why? Because it took 30% and 30%. So actually 60% of the money was paid out in commission. That's unbelievable. Mind-blowing. So now, if we go into your user ID, your direct partners, your sponsor ID, let's go into XSYNERGY slot 1. Notice we have filled up, we just put in 921. That's the one we just put in. And we had already had one in there from a previous demo that I'd done. And it's in slot 25. Now, if I wanted to upgrade, I would simply just click upgrade. And if I had the money in my wallet, it checks it immediately. And I was connected to the right wallet, it would automatically allow me to just purchase the upgrade. And then you can do it and unlock each one of those, right? Now, as I show XSYNERGY 1, this is XSYNERGY 1. There's one more slot left, which is going to reopen or recycle us back in, and it'll reopen into the recycler, which, as you can see over here, this is a recycle button. Now, if you click this button here, see how it says XSYNERGY 1 and XSYNERGY 2. Now, there's XSYNERGY 2. Again, over here on your right, you see this over here, all the way to your right. So you have that. You have to, important that you see you have a center vault. The center vault or the XSYNERGY vault is the vault where your actual XSYNERGY tokens were put. So when the account was originally created, it took a portion of the $25, it bought XSYNERGY, and it put it in a vault. And it put it in a vault based on slot 1, and there it is inside of there. Now, you can emergency unstake it for 50%, just to clarify. If you ever need to pull it out early, it'll pull out 50% of the value of the staking. So you want to try not to do that. If you want to enjoy the rewards of the platform, you want to let it do the staking as the way it's supposed to be. Okay. Now, we'll go back to the dashboard over here. This is your main area where you can go back to everything. And if we click back in here and click in preview, over here on the far right, you'll see there's the little recycle button. And then next to that is this button. See, that button shows you the two. Now it opens up the two synergies. Synergy 1, which is your personal one, I talk about on all of our opportunity meetings we just talked about. And then it's Synergy 2. Now you can see these two commissionable amounts, these two went to the person who brought me, or in this case, into the system. And then these next three are going to be whoever we refer. They're going to be commissionable to me, in this case, in this position. And then the last one goes up, and that recycles you back into the system again. And this is all, again, upgradable per slot, just like I showed. And if there was any level of spillover that could be coming into the system, it can go in to fill these slots. Okay? So if there's people that are put in, they can actually do the same thing below you and fill into those slots for you. So you guys understand. Now, I always talk about the fact that you actually are buying an NFT. We really are buying an NFT. You're at the first level of an NFT, which is a representative. And as a representative, you now have an NFT that entitles you to different, we'll call it aspects of future value for that NFT. But you did buy an NFT. It absolutely is there. It's in the NFT slot. Now, I will say this, that there's 12 of those, right? There's 12 of these NFTs, and as you unlock them, there are different types of NFTs that will come out. Now, let's go back to the dashboard again. Let's go through this more detail. Now, if we scroll down, you will see you have your amount of money that you've earned in Synergy 1, which you did. We had just referred somebody. And of course, you have the money that you earn from staking and the staking rewards that you will have for when you take that out of the system, and the amount you totally contributed to the system. And in the event somebody below you happens to go into a higher slot level that you brought in, or that's in the slot, it'll show how much money you might have missed out on. In this case, nobody's missed out on anything. You can see that from every single purchase. I want to show you something really cool that I think you'll find fascinating. I always talk about that transparency is super important with these platforms. And here's the proof that transparency is super important. We got paid $7.50 for the person that we just brought in, which is 921. You watched me literally sign that person up, which was me. It was a demo account. But watch what it looks like. Okay, look at this. This is actually the smart contract sending the money to where it needs to go. Absolutely incredible the way this model works. It literally took in the money, it transferred the money to where it needed to go. It transferred it to the commissions, to the people that brought into the system. It actually does the purchase for the XSYNERGY tokens. It actually puts the buyback and burn on the XSYNERGY token. It literally does everything that it says on chain. It puts the Solana reserve. Everything is right there. Don't take my word for it. It's all here. You see it? You can go in your back office and click this at any time and do as much detailed due diligence as you wish. Most times there's a proxy in front of this. A lot of the platforms out there, they don't show this level of detail. I have other platforms that we built out that do show this level of detail because we think this is important to know that this money is actually going somewhere. Now, that being said, let's go back into your back office and scroll down a little further. So again, this spot right here, income transactions. That means these are literally showing where you earned your money from. Okay. Now, this could get a lot of people down the road, but for now, there's just 2 in here because it's a demo account. This is showing all of the recent activity. This is literally the one that we just put in and someone else had just put one in. And you can see that it's happening every minute, every hour, and you could load more. You can see this is all the activity that's happening on the system. It's happening. There's people at the 240 upgrade in the slot 6, etc. Right? You can see this. Now, when we go back to the right, you'll see the total number of people that are in the system, how many went up in the last 24 hours, how much money members have received within 24 hours. You can see the turnover. Turnover means this is how much in 24 hours. This is how much is rolled through the system from a revenue perspective. And that number will match if you go to xsynergy.io, which is here, and you click on enter the matrix. It brings you to, and it'll automatically connect you, by the way, to your platform, but we're not going to do that. That's how you get to your dashboard. What we're going to do, instead of hitting enter the matrix, we're going to hit claim your slot. And that's what I show every time I show the platform. And you can see 272, 922, 63, right? If we go into our back office, 272, 922, it's all pulling the data from the system. What they call it, from a subgraph. It's pulling all that data. Now, if you want to see how much money you can earn, which is pretty powerful, you can hit the calculator. And the calculator basically shows you, if you were to fill in these slots, how much money you will actually earn based on filling in the slots. You see that? And this shows you what the money would be. Again, no guarantees of income. This is just a calculation as an example. Point is that this is already built into the system to help you out. Okay. Now, if we click on partners, this system will show all the people. Now we have just signed up 921. So that's our new registration. And as you can see, there's no username, there's no information. There's just simply, this is the person, there's a transaction hash, and we know their wallet. Okay. And then it tells us what slot number they're in. And then, of course, we had previously done this one as a demo, and that one's there as well. Now, if we click on stats, stats are going to show what actually has happened. And it shows, in this particular one that we just did, it shows that the dividend was sent, that the new placement was put in, that a placement was put in, and that the registration was done. It literally is tracking everything transparently of what just happened. All of those buttons that I clicked to create that position live for all of you, you just got a chance to see it firsthand. It's really cool. I mean, honestly, you got to admit, they did a fantastic job. And, you can even change your avatar. You can make it another neat looking avatar. If you're a female, you can change it to a female. Yep. If you want to. In this case, we are male or they or them or it, whatever the case may be, wherever you are in the world. The bottom line is that they really pretty much thought of everything, and they've done a fantastic job. So I hope this was very informative for you. We went through step 1, which was to get a wallet. And this is going to be on a tutorial video once again. Step 2, we went over how to fund your wallet to get a minimum of $25 USDT Polygon version with a little bit of Pol, a little bit of Matic. Whether you're on a MetaMask and or a Trust Wallet, you're going to be supported. And then, of course, we went over how to actually connect to the system, onboard, which includes authenticating to the platform. Make sure you always clear the cache. Once you are on there, whether you're on a phone or you're in the computer, make sure you clear the cache before you purchase and do your signature for your agreement. That way, you are going to have the best chance of a successful connection and a successful sign up. You're going to have errors because it already checked. If it connects to a wallet that doesn't have any money in it, and then you go back in and put money in it, it's already connected. It's not going to recheck it unless you clear the cache. I want to stress that it's very important. The best thing to do is to not connect to the platform until the money and the Pol is in your wallet. Then connect to the platform. That way you have the best chance of success. But if you happen to do it in reverse, you can always clear your cache and you'll be fine. There's multiple steps in regards to what the contract is doing when we signed you up, which you had a chance to see firsthand live. You've all done it already yourselves, but to show somebody else, this will be done in tutorials. People will be able to go, step 1, step 2, step 3, and it'll explain it in detail. I hope that this was very informative. I know we went through pretty much every detail that I can think of. If you want to disconnect, you can do that by clicking up here in the corner, and you just click disconnect, and that'll disconnect your wallet. See that? And it's going to ask you, hey, do you want to connect? Now, if I hit cancel, which I can, it now says connect wallet. And even though it still shows the information, but the key is that you're not connected anymore. The information will not be live as it's updating because it's not connected. And the same thing when you're inside of the platform itself. If you hit connect wallet, it is going to connect to whatever wallets are able or available to you. and then you'll be able to go into your dashboard. In this case, we're not going to do that because we've already done it. And that said, I hope that you guys and ladies and gentlemen have an incredible rest of your evening. That puts us at 8:51. We have literally got a chance to go over getting started, loading up your wallet, understanding and protection on your crypto, and starting and opening a MetaMask, and of course, how the back office works. So once again, my name is Adam Russell. I am your host, and I truly am humbled, and I appreciate the opportunity to share this information with you. So with that, we will see you on the next webinar. Just make sure you check all of our approved socials, starting with the link tree, and make sure that you check to confirm what the times for the opportunity, as well as any future trainings are going to be done. So have an incredible day, everyone. Take care, take charge, and we'll see you all on the next one.